shines and then give colors. This is how it looks during the day. Prefer old style, Diane. I do as well. Even actually, I love modern architecture. Out of place, the same how I feel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You like it, Chinese? Yeah, why not? I like modern architecture, but not here, and kind of a bit, I don't know, more glass. So that's modern one, and this is another modern one. But when I mean modern one, in this case, I mean 1940s, 50s Palace, Phoenix. So in this one is in another completely another style. It's all built of concrete, like brutalistic style, and however, it's quite like beautiful piece of architecture. Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah. And look at this one. So Palace Phoenix, and imagine in 1930s, almost every building, the like this is a ground floor and this is a first floor. And all the first floors were cafes. So there is a big space and a lot of people before TV, before all this, people were going out for cafe, for cinema, for live music, for dancing. So it was all here. And this is my favorite place because imagine what is there. There is a restaurant, and it's kind of funny because to this restaurant, it's little trains that are bringing you the originally only the beer, but what I have noticed is already the food being brought to you on a little train. So I'm now going through my pictures, trying to find a picture of this little train. Yes, here it is. So look at the chat. There is a picture of little train bringing the beer. Vitopna, if Karel can write it down. Vitopna, Vitopna. There is another one then in a Palladium, but this is the original one. So Vitopna, Karel, if you can write it down. No, Beverly, it's actually, yes, Karel wrote it now correctly. But thank you anyway. Yeah, thanks, Beverly, anyway. So Vitopna, which means a place which is kind of like a warm. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain why. I don't know why they name it this way, but it's as it is. Yeah, Karel is here. He was lost for a moment somewhere, I noticed. So we have another architectonic style, which is now just on the right hand. So not the modern one, but this one. This one is 1950s. Anyone will guess, like, or maybe you have heard how this architectonic style is called. So you have like Baroque, you have Gothic, which is not. These are all historical styles. This one it's much younger, and it's called. I am 100% sure that you cannot see it because only people. Beverly, you are close. However, this is younger, and that's already sorella, meaning social realism. Yes, social realism, which is kind of architectonic style built in socialistic countries. This was originally planned to be a hotel in Yalta, in Crimea. And that's, by the way, why it's called Yalta as well. Yalta, like the city. Prague was almost not touched by the Second World War. Like there was some bombing there, a couple of buildings. It was bombed a bit further from the city center. Behind the National Museum, the vineyards area was badly hit by bombing of the Second World War, but not the city center and not that much here. However, I want to switch, yes. So this is social realistic building, and all the guests who were coming in socialism and communism to our country from abroad, especially from behind Iron Curtain, they were like accommodated in this hotel because every room has a spy machine, and every person of the staff in the hotel were kind of cooperating with state police. You see, these are the workers. That's typical for Sorella architectonic style. People, workers, working, bakers, kind of talking and going to the meetings and deciding what's better for the community, which is how was it here before. And imagine in this hotel, yes, I like it. I quite like Sorella. You see someone is making photos from the hotel room, so it's still hotel. Yes, you had a hotel. Yeah, not surprisingly, dinner and Hotel Yalta, of course, because that's the most busy place then in 1988. And under here, actually in the cellars, there the communist leaders built themselves a anti-nuclear bunker. You can go there as a museum. You can like do a reserve in advance. They will take you there with a guide, and this is what you will see. Look at the chat. You find two pictures, and that's the pictures, photos taken down there in the nuclear bunker. There was a hospital, and it was meant to be if some bomb is coming here, our VIP politicians will go to Hotel Yalta to be hidden in this place. And here we have one of the oldest neon lights. So there was a big like a fish restaurant. That's why the fish. But imagine this light, this neon light, is here from 1920s. From 1920s. Now you don't see much neon lights around, but it looked like this. And I will post you here some pictures with neon lights. You've already seen something, but I'm posting some three pictures from the square, how it looked in 1920s, even 1930s, how busy was it. And a lot of the places here, there were cinemas and theaters. There still are some, but imagine in the 1920s and 30s, yeah, there was at each evening 20,000 people can be accommodated in the cinemas and theaters all around the square. Only here in the Passage, there is one cinema and one theater. Yeah. So it was all there. Now there is only one theater at the moment. I know they are playing, but just a small one. But there was like 400, 600 seats in each cinema, and you can visit the place every evening. I remember when I was a teenager, which is 1980s, I was going from high school. Like we ended the school something like 2 o'clock afternoon, and we went to this place, and we were going to the cinema for almost zero amount because it was really something like less than $1 price. And we were watching the blockbusters and Amadeus movie or Indiana Jones movies and so on. So it was quite nice. So let's look back at the beautiful Wenceslas Square with the top National Museum from 1881. Today, you can, after reconstruction, which was finished 2019, you can even go to the dome and have a nice view to the whole square, which was not possible before. But I think it's just great that they have made it available. I will post here. I'm posting for you a picture how it looks from the dome. So imagine we are there looking back, seeing the statue of Saint Wenceslas, and then looking down. By the way, the length of the square is from the bottom to the top here. It's 700 meters, and from the left to the right is 60 meters. And I will post you, so find a map of Prague where you in the chat where you see like a river going right. Then at the curve of the river, there is the old town. And then I put there like a blue line, long blue line. And this blue line is the square, which is the bottom of it is at the western side. And the top of it, when we have started, is on the eastern side. So this blue line, I hope you can find it on the picture, is showing you the place. Yes, horse market. We have talked about it, that it was a horse market, and people were coming here not only for horses, calves, and fabrics and jewelry, gold, amber, already since 14th century when this new town was found. And I'm just a little bit on a narrow street. Yes, one of the most beautiful hotels. It's hotel originally called Schrobeck. Now let's see how it's gonna be called because it has a new owner. And you see all the constructions, all the cranes are here. It's almost all done with the beautiful golden statues. Art Deco-ish hotel. And let's hope they will open soon. And this is kind of interesting as well because the same owner had two hotels. This big one, which was for the luxury, uh, who wanted the luxury of nice rooms, and then very cheap. So even in 1990s, it was possible to have to be accommodated here at this place in a Hotel Meran in this one, which was extremely cheap. There was a bathroom on a corridor, not a part of the room, and so on. But that's all already changed. So there was these two beautiful from the interior. I've seen pictures and they were beautiful Art Deco-ish, but don't know what's gonna happen there now after this reconstruction. On this square here, we used to have trams. The trams were running down from or up, doesn't matter. Now we only have trams that are joining the left with right. There is a tram line. But before, and they plan to change it again, we have a tram, which we will have a tram, and we used to have a tram going up and down. This cafe here is just for us to remember this situation that the tram were running up and down. And I will post you some pictures with trams. Just I'm now going through. I have quite a lot of the pictures, so I want to find one which is interesting. And that's the trams were running. Yeah, I only have the one down. So that's how the tram was going down. But I want to take you to this like a cross. We have entrance to the metro here. That's the pink building. Anyone? Okay, let's talk about the pink building first. Anyone have heard the name of Franz Kafka? Kafka. Kafka. Yes. So Franz Kafka. Yeah, he was writer from Prague, probably the most famous name, most famous writer, and he was also working at insurance company, and he didn't like it much, being office clerk. But this is his work. This is office, Janis Metamorphosis. This is office of Franz Kafka. Generali Assicurazione, originally insurance company. Now there are some other offices, but this is Kafka's house, and we can see nice. Oh, thanks a lot, Rosalind, for your tip. It's highly appreciated. This is the only way how I earn my money from the tours. So just looking down, you see trams riding by. We see this cross, and on my side now is the entrances to the subway, or we call it metro. So the symbol of it. Thanks a lot, Joy. Yeah, the metro line A, line B. So there's a crossing here, and imagine I will show you a picture how this. Oh, thanks a lot, Joy, Dawn. Highly appreciate. Picture of this square under us. It's a big complex, like a stop metro station. So it goes down, and look at this. I don't recall this from when it happened, as it was 1980s. But look at this picture, how this place looked like. Still tram riding from the top and from the side to side. Metro being built just under it. And the other picture, you see how how the stop is being built. So I hope you like the pictures, because I think it's quite interesting. So one of another newer addition of the architecture, and quite popular, especially with youngsters, is this duplex. As at the top, it's a rooftop club and dancing and bar. So duplex, rooftop venue. Let's now look to the other side, because we are going Let's have some picture nice with the trams and the National Museum final light, because what's the time? Yeah, we already are behind the sunset. The sunset like 10, not 10, but 5 minutes ago. So it's after 5 minutes after sunset, still the light is there. And let's look at this beautiful building. Maybe you have been with me on Vrtba Garden. I have just noticed they are going to open it like this week or from the next week. So I will take you when the weather is nice to beautiful Vrtba Garden. And when we are there, we are talking about the painter who painted this. He did a lot of other buildings in Prague, and his name is Mikoláš Aleš. But I want you to look at this building. And if you are in Prague and you'll see building painted like this, it's always Mikoláš Aleš. And we talk about him on my Vrtba Garden tour. So just have it here. And I'm going back, sorry, this is too much. Okay. And imagine we call the square for revolution, because a lot of revolutions happen here, protests. The recent one is just like, how far is it? 2 weeks ago. There was, imagine, about 100,000 people here protesting, just like it's 1 or 2 weeks ago on Saturday. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what's here. One of the biggest manifests here were when we changed the regime, well, we call it Velvet Revolution, in September 1989. And it all started not far from here, and then the biggest protests were for the whole week here at this place. And from this balcony, our first democratic president, then after the protest, Václav Havel, was giving his speech to the people like, let's get rid of the communism, let's be free finally. So look at the picture. You see Václav Havel at the balcony, yeah, and you see the crowds under. So just look at the pictures, and you will see how it felt being here in September 1989. At these days, I was here in Prague, but I was not here at the square because I was doing a revolution in. At the university. We were on strike, and we were like fighting there, talking and having these important speeches. And my parents were going for this manifestation here at the square. And now let's go in. I just have to cross the street, because I want to take you inside. My most favorite part of the Wenceslas Square are actually, we call it passages or walkthroughs or alleyways. Yes, Pauline, it was November 1989. It started 17 November 1989, and then that was Friday. Then the weekend was quiet because no one really knew what happened. And the next week it started, and that was 25th November when Havel was talking from the balcony to the people. So we are now entering Passage of Rococo building. So let's look here. Passage Rococo. Here there are cinemas, and were cinemas, and there are theaters. One of the theaters, the entrances, is at this moment just under us. The name of the theater is Rococo as well, and looks like they don't have a program today. Otherwise, there will be open door and people will walk down, because the scene is under us. I will show you how it looks under there. And just give me a second. Where do I have the picture of the interior? Yeah, here we go. This is how it looks down there. And exactly here at this window used to be a ticket till where I bought my ticket. and I went to the cinema. You see, this is the sport, whatever sport, something, sport vision shop. But this was actually cinema theater behind, and very special one. It was called Hviezda, which means the star. You bought a ticket for, again, something close to zero. You went in, and you arrived in the middle of the movie. And you were sitting there till the end of the movie, and then you stay there and watch the movie from the beginning again to the half, or again the full. And you can sit there from 10 in the morning to 10 in the evening, watching the same movie in a loop over and over and over. Look at the beautiful glass ceiling of this Art Deco-ish Passage Rococo Palace. I really like how they reconstructed the place with all the golden faces, golden mascarons here. And now down there is Costa Cafe, which is, yeah, I kind of prefer the the local cafes, but Costa is not bad. So there is this shop I used to visit something like in 1990s very often with all the plays because Czech people are very playful, playing games, playing table games. So there is a big shop with all these. And here we are leaving Passage Rococo from this Art Deco style, and we are entering Passage Lucerna. By the way, this is the place you buy the tickets for the theater. So we are leaving one building, one palace, crossing the border, the stairs, to another palace. This is, yeah, I love the passages. My favorite place here in Prague. So I will take you. This is one of the most beautiful one. That's the first iron concrete construction built in a 1909. And there is something happening. This is kind of unusual. So the stole is here. Something, probably some charity, some exhibition here. The place is called Lucerna, which means the lantern. Yeah, so you can see the old historical objects for posting the placards, and it is the lantern, Lucerna. And what do we have here? I'm quite happy. You see how dressed they are, because what's going on? Actually, at this moment, under us, these stairs down, it's something what we call the Great Hall, and it's about 4 floors, big hall. It's also something like Carnegie Hall. Yeah, if you are having a concert in this Lucerna Hall, it's something like having a concert in Carnegie Hall. And in 1968, there was Sečmo. I hope you know who Sečmo is, having a concert here in the Lucerna. Today, this is not a concert, as you can see the people walking by. It actually is ball, prom. Yeah, children. My school. We had a prom here. I'm posting now picture what is under us. 4 floors hall. This one is made ready for a concert, but all the red chairs are taken away, and all these children are having their prom here coming, and I had my prom here as well. So it's quite lovely occasion for this situation, how busy it is, all dresses, all people, and this is the stairs down, yeah, going down 4 floors and dancing all night and all day. I was just thinking that I haven't been to the dancing here at Lucerna quite long time. These days we are going to another place, but this is the famous one. So let's see now. Above us is actually quite beautiful roof with a view. I'm posting now for you a picture, a view from the roof of this building to Prague Castle, and some pictures from it as well. So look at 3 pictures and you see it. Now I want to take you to finally opened the Café Lucerna, a famous one, and there is a cinema. So behind me is this multicultural hall. In front of us up there is a cinema. You see the red carpet because the premieres of the Czech movies are happening here. So it's already, I am not taking you to the cinema, not to the cafe, but for some viewpoint to have a nice view. By the way, this man, you remember we have talked about Václav Havel, the man who was our first president after communistic regime. This man has almost the same name. Yeah. The difference is that the current one was like this. This is all the name, so it has S there. And that's a builder, the man who built this building, this Lantern Lucerna building, and he is grandfather of our future president. And what I like is this stained glass window. Imagine this is a stained glass window, and it's actually showing the graffiti. So it's all glass showing the graffiti here. And we are going one more floor or half floor to look down. It's a bit dark, so let's hope you will have chance to see it. But you see, man on a horse. Who do you think it is? Does it remind you of something or someone? Anyone? Man on a horse. We are at Wenceslas Square. Yes, Cynthia. It's St. Wenceslas, just speaking in the cafe. The statue here, it's from 1990s. And to me, it's kind of embarrassing because it's kind of showing that Czech people cannot learn from a history. Yes, Maria. King on a dead horse. He was not king, but duke, but doesn't really matter. Yeah, on a dead horse, and it's symbolizing something like that Czech people are not able to learn from their history, so they are riding the dead horse. That's kind of idiom. And I don't like it much, honestly, but it's just interesting to see the statue. That author is one provocative artist who did a lot of this, like I call it like political exclamations about how Czech people are bad. This is kind of interesting. You are animals, yeah, so similar, yeah. It's kind of interesting as Czech people are really good at telling you how bad we are. That's our national sport, telling how Czechs are awful. But I don't like it, not surprisingly. But that's what's quite popular sport, if I should call it like this. Yeah, and other people coming for the ball, for the dancing. And all the passages are going through the whole complex. So we are again leaving the building palace and going through another palace, through another passage. So you can see, I smell cheeses. So the French cheeses here. What was that up down on the roof? That the statue just hanging from the ceiling, and it symbolizes like the Saint Wenceslas on a horse we have seen before, but kind of the bad way that the chicks, the horse, the king or King Duke riding Saint Wenceslas riding the dead horse, meaning like not really being up to date and not really being good at anything. So that's why I don't like the meaning of it that much. So we have talked about Franz Kafka. So who do you think, or who do you know actually who it is? This is a very nice cafe bookshop inside. The sculpture is David Černý. Karel just wrote it above. David Černý. Yeah, and look up one comment. Yeah, and you will see the name. So this is beautiful cafe with books. And look up here. Anyone knows after him, this cafe is named. Thanks a lot, Tracy, for your tip. So we read it Řehoř. That's the Czech letters, R and R. So Řehoř Samsa. You know? Yeah, Tracy. Yeah. So you know, who knows? Who is, this is a hero. This is a man's name. And we have already talked about his like father. And we have already had the name of the book in our chat a moment ago. Who remembers? Grzegorz Samsa or Gregor Samsa very often is a hero of a book which is called, yes, thank you, Janice, Metamorphoses. Gregor Samsa, Metamorphoses, yes, you know it. So that's the man whose body changes from the human to be a big cockroach. That's what the book is about. Metamorphosis from the human to be a big cockroach. And there is also a nice gallery, so you can buy some artwork here inside. I like the passages as there is offices, theaters. This is the worst area for the signal. So I'm kind of going quickly. I know this is the worst one. So there is, by the way, another theater inside. And you see, I believe these people around here are going for the theater. Yeah, because it's open. And again, they are going down. So I hope the signal comes back. This is the worst area. I believe, yes, we have made it already. And this, we will go out. Here, it's unfortunately already behind the sunset, like after the sunset, I mean. So there is a beautiful stained glass window. So we can see it at least like this. I just wanted to show you this, and I wanted to take you to this cafe bookshop. That's why we have to survive short moment with the worse signal. And you see again, a lot of people still going to the ball or to the movies or to the theater, to the cafe, food. And we just arrived again through the complex outside to the street with trams. This orange tram is quite unique. That's kind of running only for fun. Yeah, that orange tram is just going through. So this way it's out of the Wenceslas Square, the building with the tower. That's a town hall of Newtown. And behind it is the biggest square in Prague, just behind Charles Square. It's actually more like park. And we are going back the direction to the Wenceslas Square, which is the other way around. We have walked all this from there to here. We have walked inside of the complex. So you see that that was really long walk, even it doesn't look like. The name of the street, it's Vodičkova. It's not that interesting, only that it's named, yes, Vodičkova. Mr. Vodička, after whom it is named, was a famous Prague butcher. So he had his house here, and this house he built as well. It was a shopping mall and a famous place with billiard and cafe and so on. Nicely decorated, painted, and mosaics and little sculptures. So up there was billiards, cafes, and it was all built by the famous butcher of Prague, after whom the street is named. And let's just, don't jump under the tram. I want you to look, oh, thanks a lot, Janice, at this red and white building, which is Czech national style, and it's called round cubism. Round cubism, Czech national style. Another architectonic style which was built especially in 1920s, but not many buildings in this design. Up there is extremely famous cafe, yeah, which is called Mishák. But like Mickey Mouse, but not Mickey Mouse, but we call Mickey Mouse Mishák Mickey. So the name, I'm coming closer because there is another neon light, Café Mishak. Thank you, Karel. So Café Mishak. That's this one. Let's go on. So on the right hand, we see the lantern, the Lucerna building where the hanging horse was. That's from the outside. They're finally open. Long time, and it was in scaffolding, and now they finished the reconstruction. So hopefully some new shops will appear as it's kind of empty now. Here is a very beautiful cafe. And sorry for a quick move at the moment. I will just cross the street because that's the oldest building in this place. So let's look here. You see high building, 100 years old, high building, 120 years old. And then we have this 18th century building, just like this, in Baroque style, standing in between these two big buildings. Yeah, Joel, great that you love Prague. So this is the 18th century Baroque building with the beautiful cafe inside. So let's just peek there, and there is even nice garden which is open, and they have nice cakes, nice food. So I'm only showing you this corridor heading to the cafe and to the garden at the end. Thanks a lot, Diane. I have really made a pictures. Yes, that's this one and this one. So I'm posting two pictures which were taken at the garden behind the door and in a cafe there. I like it. Honestly, I would like to live here. This house has an atmosphere, and it would be great to live in such a place. But let's go out. I want to take you to like some more places. So if you have to go, just go. I was happy to have you on my tour, but I will be happy if you stay with me as we will see another passage and even some Czech delicacies here. Thanks, Diane and Yvonne. So there is a tram stop which is now running, the only line going through the square, and we go to another passage here, which is called Světozor. There is a cinema Světozor, also the collection of the old posters, movie posters. Thanks a lot, Don. It's under us here. Shop and the ticket office. And very, very famous cafe. It's not cafe. For me, it's so hard to translate it. We call it cukrárna, which means something like a sugar place. So it's cafe, but they are having ice creams and they are having a lot of cakes. It's usually very busy during the day. You can see a long queue. And I remember this place from my childhood. So it exists here from 1980s, 1970s. I will take you inside a little bit, yeah, to look at the delicious cakes. And then something special, cukrárna sweet shop, yes. So you can buy the whole cake home, or you can buy just a piece. You can have it here, you can have it to go. And here, just let's peek there, you see these breads. They are open breads, open sandwiches. You have a bread decorated with salami, ham, egg, potato salad, and it's extremely delicious. That's a Czech special delicatessen. So I wanted you to see this before we go on. And we usually buy the little breads here, and if we make them home, it's only on the New Year's Eve. On the New Year's Eve, we make them at home. And especially when some guests are coming, we buy the little breads, like for the guests. Chlebíček. Thanks a lot, Linda. And look at this beautiful stained glass window, which is a commercial for Tesla. But Tesla is not Nikola Tesla. This was like radio company, which kind of stole the Tesla name to have it for themselves. And let's see another my favorite passage. There is a garden, yeah, which is now you see at the moment just being closed, but it's a beautiful garden which is just behind the doors from the Wenceslas Square. And under us used to be another theater exactly here. Unfortunately, now this one is kind of gone because the whole palace we are now coming to, it's beautiful to me, functionalistic palace. However, the owner doesn't care of it at all. So there is only some shops around here, and there used to be the whole area around used to be a beautiful cafe, disco dancing. The best cinema in Prague was just here, the entrance to it. The most famous cinema. I have seen there this Amadeus movie. I have seen there the Harrison Ford looking for the, you know what I mean, which movie. I've already told its name, but again, how it looks down there, this is what is behind me. So, Lost Ark, thank you, Kate. Yes, Lost Ark. So this is, you see the picture? That's the view I'm showing you. All the upper floor, they were cafes. Yeah, beautiful glass ceiling and cafe all around. Now it's empty, empty, sad, sad. Because only the owner makes money on these little shops down there, and otherwise it's completely closed. And you see they're closing it overnight. This is the only passage that's been closed overnight, and they are just closing at the moment. And we are at the bottom part of the square. This is the former building of Generali Assicurazione, where Franz Kafka was going. This is the bottom part, which is already changed to be a walking zone. And then we will look back to the top part, which is like behind me. This is beautiful blue sky. So let's enjoy the view at the moment. Yeah, there is famous Coruna Palace. But all the area there, we will walk next week on a tour Prague Wall Promenade because there used to be the wall in between Old and New Town. So we will walk it and we will see it there. For today, we are at the end of the tour, just looking back to the square, to the top of it, with the beautiful National Museum. So thanks to all of you who have joined me for my tour. I will be happy this week. I have more tours. I have some Moser tour. We will visit Moser factory with the most beautiful glass for a company. Thank you, which has a certification like one of the best companies. Thanks a lot. Then we will see Easter markets, not the ones we will see the bigger one. The kind of I will talk about special Easter tradition, and you will be, thank you, surprised what Czech traditions about Easter are. Some people don't like it much because it's a bit dangerous. Josephov, Joel, I'm doing tour of Josephov. I'm doing like a Jewish town, and I have it like just recently. I have two tours there actually. So look, keep your eye, follow me on Higo, and that's gonna be the tour in Josephov again. I will switch off my face. You don't have to watch me, and still we can enjoy the nice view. So I'm kind of going down the square, showing you the place. And then I have what I have done. I have these two, and that's during the week. And on Saturday, the same time, I am having this Prague Wall Promenade, which is here walking around Prague. Thanks a lot, Dawn. I am happy that you have enjoyed the tour. I am happy that actually was not raining as the forecast was. Is that the moon? No, that's just a clock. You mean if you mean this, I'm going closer. Maybe it's gonna help. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's clock. Yeah, that's just modern. Moon was actually, I have seen moon during the tour. It was just like very tiny sea, and it was somewhere. Let's look if I can show you because it's now like behind me, but probably it's gonna be buildings there in on our, yeah, don't see it. But the moon is supposed to be somewhere there at the moment. By the way, another beautiful, another beautiful former hotel Ulish. I love this modern architecture. Yeah. So again, have a nice time. Have a lovely day. See you hopefully soon. And hopefully the gardens are opening. So hopefully we will have chance to go to the gardens to see the spring coming. Yeah. See you. Bye. And thank you for all of your support. Bye.